Luigi's Mansion is the dominating force of my early years. It has an admirable score of 8.1 on IMDb and a 78 on Metacritic. It stuck with me forever, vividly, and I will never forget it. I'm gonna gush about the nostalgia of this game, so be prepared, as I explain why that game was great. Luigi's Mansion is the action-adventure horror game released by Nintendo in September of 2001 for the GameCube. The game follows Luigi as he goes through end-to-end confrontations with the ghosts that haunt his brand new mansion, all to save his beloved sibling Mario. The game already sums up why it's special when the blurb on the box starts with, "Luigi steps out of his brother's shadow, and it's about time." I've never experienced this game with a controller in my hands. I wish I had, and I'm waiting for my opportunity to. However, the hours I'd spent sitting beside my dad as he fought off ghoul after ghoul are some of the only hours in my early years that I actually remember, which is a feat in itself. It always stuck with me, and even when it took a backseat in my memory, it was still in the seat. And then the amazing, wonderful guy that is Dorco did a playthrough of it and brought the game back to the front lines of my memory. Before I go off on a huge tangent, I'm going to start discussing the game. Now granted, I haven't played the game here, but I'm going to talk about the mechanics. Obviously, you've got your Poltergust 9000, the trusty vacuum given to you by EGAD, which of course you can use to collect money, or those pesky ghosts. There's also the mechanic that your Game Boy Horror, which can be used as a map, can also be used as a camera, and by pointing it at a mirror, you can teleport back to the main lobby of the house. There are also the elemental powers of ice, water, and fire, which can be projected out of the Poltergust 9000. Water is most notably used to water a flower in the map's garden, which eventually gives you a whole lot of loot. Fire can burn spider webs and light candles, and ice can freeze booze, which is very important for one boss fight in particular. Speaking of bosses, the character design is so iconic to me, and when paired with the sound design, it creates these iconic individual characters for you to have a scuffle with. Before I even talk about the specific portrait ghosts, I'll talk about the recurring ghosts that linger around the halls. You've got the orange ghost, which is the weakest but is impervious to the element abilities, and it's the first guy that Luigi will encounter. Next are purple punches, which are a little stronger and do what the name suggests. The blue twirler has 30 health and a powerful ground pound that'll take 20 health off of you. The garbage can ghost floats around dropping bananas to ruin your day, especially if you're being surrounded by punchers. And finally, you have the grabbing ghosts, which can spawn from the ceiling and try to strangle you. They also make this really haunting laugh. So just from that alone, you have recognizable enemies with attacks that you can become familiar with. And then you have the bosses. I'm going to talk solely about my 4 personal favourites, out of the multitude of them. First you have Biff Atlas. Just by looking at him, you already know everything you need to about him, and then the noise that he makes when you hit him just further strengthens the characterization of him. Next are the twins Henry and Orville. I just really love their color-coded design, and not to mention that their boss fight is just fun in general. After that is Vincent Van Gogh. He's the final boss before King Boo, and once again the visual presentation shows everything that his character is, with the mustache and the beret, the typical French artist. Finally are the Clockwork Soldiers, who I just think are really cool. I think they look awesome. As another note, I'm going to throw in a 5th boss fight and just say that the final boss with Bowser and King Boo is so cool. It's just so awesome. I remember watching my dad beat that level and it was so awesome. This is going to be a quick section, but the time and effort that the animators put into making this game as charming and fun as it is shines very, very bright. Look at this one shot of Luigi reaching for the door handle. Luigi could not be more visually clear about how he is petrified of whatever he believes is beyond the door, and it's so much better than him just looking dead in the camera and going, "Oh boy, I'm scared." I love the music of this game, specifically the integration of the music. The main theme wouldn't be nearly as memorable as it is without the multiple iterations throughout, that Luigi himself hums it when ghosts are in the room and whistles it when ghosts are not in the room. Also, the music that plays when you talk to Madame Clairvoyeur is a bop. Personally, I would love a HD PC port of Luigi's Mansion, but at the same time, I don't, because an updated graphics at Mario Odyssey level takes the charm away for the game. I'm aware there's a remaster on 3DS, but whatever. Unless they make Waluigi's Mansion, I'm happy with what I've got. Luigi's Mansion is the charming game of my childhood, that showed the world that Luigi isn't worthless. Even in the face of danger, he saved his brother. It's a fun and visually appealing game with a good moral, and for that, and there should be nothing new, it's a 9 out of 10. I don't know if my rating would go up or down if I actually play the game, controls and all that, but that's how I feel. There's no real way for me to verbally describe how much nostalgia I feel when I play this game, because I still feel like I'm underselling it even though I've written an essay on it. And I would love if I could just portray how I feel, but it's so difficult, so let's just say it's a 9 out of 10 because I'm in love with the game, I love how it's animated, I love how the music is, I love how the gameplay is, you know. So anyway, I do hope that you enjoyed That Game Was Great episode 3 on Luigi's Mansion. As always, like and subscribe if you enjoy, and I hope that you look forward to the next episode in 2 weeks. It's gonna be about